Northern Brewer takes you where home brewing and craft brewing meet. From pro breweries to home breweries, we live and breathe beer. Craft beer celebrities, homebrew luminaries, brew sessions, and most important of all, lots of great beer. You are watching Brewing TV.
Happy birthday to you.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Word.
Oh, hi. We didn't see you there. I'm Michael Dawson.
I'm Chip Walton.
And I'm Jay Keeler. We're from Northern Brewer, and this is
Brewing TV.
Hey, guys. Today is kind of special.
It is kind of special.
It's our 2-year birthday.
Woohoo!
2 years old.
2 years
2
old.
years.
We get the big mugs now.
Yeah.
Big mugs. You have to enjoy this on as many levels as I do. Today, in honor of 2 years of Brewing TV, we're brewing.
Mm-hmm.
What else are we doing?
We're going to rap a little bit about 2 years of production of Brewing TV.
And then we're going to answer some viewer emails, something we've been asked to do, and we're finally getting around to doing it.
Since day one, you've wanted to hear your own questions spoken into a camera and then us following it with jibba jabba. This time you get it.
All in good time, all for brew.
Brew for all.
Brew for all.
Oh, there's also a gift in it for you at the end, so
that's
stick
right.
around.
Oh, that's right.
No peeking.
No peeking.
No peeking.
No
The-
peeking.
The Cobra might come out.
What are we brewing today? Keeler's Reverse Burster Altbier.
Whoa!
I like my alt beers, and I like my lazy brew days. So, this beer kit was invented just for that. How are we going to roll that out, Dawson?
We're going to roll that out with a single hop edition. If you were all grain brewing, it'd be a first word edition. If it's extract like this one, it's just a single 60-minute edition. Massive dose of spalt right at the beginning of the boil.
4 ounces.
That's it.
That's
it.
It.
Bam.
Then you can spend the rest of your brew day reminiscing or answering your own viewer emails. And then you can just sit back and enjoy the glory of Altbier a few weeks later.
You know, you get a lot of the characteristics of a German lager, a dark German lager. You get some of those caramelly Munich bready notes in the malt profile, but then you get a nice hop bitterness, nice hop aroma, a little spicy hop aroma. It's just a super well balanced beer, and it clocks in at 5.2, 5.5, somewhere around there. Can't beat it.
Where did you guys come up with this idea to reverse burst? And to explain, a burst is usually at the end, right? Last 15 minutes, just hops, hops, hops.
Yeah.
So this is the reverse, the antithesis of hop bursting, correct?
Well, I had an abundance of spalt hops, and we were kind of thinking of how we would use it up, and I loved alt beers, so Mike and I kind of worked on this recipe together. And the first word hopping, throwing in that many hops before the boiling begins, it creates a volatility in a combination of the hops and the proteins, and it reserves some of those hop aromas for the very end, while giving it obviously quite a bit of bitterness as well. So it's a cool technique, and it is kind of I'll say this, it's a little bit of a pendulum swing, slap in the face to the hop bursted American IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
You get so sick of drinking those and sick of dealing with that, so we thought,
What I was going to brew next.
let's do an alt beer and put all the hops at the beginning. What's up, Nathan Smith? First question.
One of the biggest questions we're asked, and BTV fan Travis via Facebook says, I've always wondered about your positions at Northern Brewer. I know Dawson makes kits, and Keeler was on the mail order line during the busy season. But is that what you guys actually do?
Sometimes. Northern Brewer's been around for almost 20 years now, and Mike has worked for Northern Brewer for what, 14 years?
Something like that.
I've been there for almost 7 years, and we've both done a lot for Northern Brewer in different positions. Mike used to work at the store. He was one of the first people to come over the warehouse, manage the warehouse, became the purchasing manager, handled everything in marketing, our catalog. I came up through production, worked there part-time, then managed the warehouse, became the COO of the company. Then we kind of flattened things out. I became the marketing director. So really what Mike and I do is we work in the marketing department. That's what we do. And Brewing TV has been an extension of the marketing department and just an extension of Northern Brewer. All Brewing TV is it's Northern Brewer's podcast.
Yeah.
Vodcast. It's our community outreach piece, you know, something we had always thought we wanted to do. And when we had the chance to get Chip in, to join our team, it was possible. So we've never looked back. We went into it head first, and it's been awesome. It's been amazing.
My business card says I'm the brand manager. I do a lot of the social media stuff. I do a lot of work on the catalog and other marketing pieces with Jake. I do a fair amount of research and development and product development.
Beer kits, a lot of the recipes that you're familiar with from Northern Brewer, developed by this guy.
Chip's the video guy.
I'm the house videographer. Brewing TV, instructional videos on youtube.com/Northern Brewer TV, or any instructional DVD that you purchase from Northern Brewer, which is a growing catalog. 2 years in, getting bigger and bigger, and we hope to keep that going. So if you see video that Northern Brewers slap their name on, I most likely drank that beer along the way. Some people want to know our background in home brewing. Really, I'll go first since mine's the shortest history. I've been brewing for about 5 years. Started off in Austin, Texas. Started off stovetop, partial boil. Still stovetop, partial boil. That's what I like to do. I do have the equipment to go all grain, but I'm missing a false bottom, which is ridiculous for as much stuff as I've acquired to let that hold me back. But for the time being, I'm happy with that. I'm the dude that likes to throw weird stuff in beers out of the three of us. So as you've all seen, clementines and grains of paradise and lime zest and chocolate bricks. More than anything, Brewing TV has actually helped me become a better brewer, because I was brewing about once a month when I was in TV news prior to taking this job 2 years ago. So I now brew at least 4 times a month, whether it's for personal beer fridge gain, or if it's test batching for work, or experimenting on Brewing TV.
That's going in the blooper reel.
So Keeler's brewed probably second
Yeah,
shortest,
yeah.
or second longest.
6+ years, and I say plus just because I did some in college for a little while, and then didn't do any brewing for a long time, then came back to it once I started working at Northern Brewer again. I was always a Northern Brewer customer, though. I'm very proud of that. I've done everything from like the partial boil, like most people get started. I do like to do extract brewing just because of the ease and the time frame, but I've also done all grain brewing, and I've done partial mash brewing, and most recently I've gotten really into brew in a bag. 3-gallon brew in the bag has become the method that I think I've settled on after X amount of years of brewing. I really like doing it. I like the batch size. I like the process. I like the quality of the beer that it yields. Learning how to do 3-gallon brew in a bag came directly from Brewing TV, because we wanted to do an episode on it, and I said, I'm really interested in it, so let me run with this one. I did some research, did about 4 different batches by the time that we filmed it, and so it's great. Brewing TV pushed me to do that, to kind of take a step in that direction. And then we've got tons of feedback from viewers about that episode and asking questions. So it makes me feel really good that something that I got really enthusiastic about, I could bring that and then we could translate that into something digestible for the viewer that they could bring back and learn from.
Old Man Dawson.
I hate to say kids these days. Kids these days have it so easy in terms of the number of yeast you can get and the quality and ease of availability of all the information you got. Back in my day, we didn't have no brewing with wheat. We didn't have no brew like a monk. We didn't even have How to Brew, Home Brewing Volume 1, or Dave Miller's Home Brewing Guide. We might have had Dave Miller's Home Brewing Guide. I've been brewing for 18 years, almost nonstop. I started brewing in a dorm room when I was in college because I had spent a semester abroad in Ireland. And back in those days, kids these days couldn't get those European beers very readily here. And the ones you could get were way out of the price range of a student, and they were not very fresh. That was the story for a lot of home brewers in the 90s, how they came to good beer.
What are the 90s?
What are the 90s? The 1890s? The Edwardian age?
I lost my train of thought.
I'm so old.
I started all grain brewing when I started working at Northern Brewer. Rather than spend my time making 3 gallons of beer, which is a very pretty little yeast starter, I started doing 10-gallon batches. It's about an hour more of commitment per brew day, twice as much beer,
But you don't have to brew as often.
and I don't have to brew as often.
Yep.
And I can share by the liter.
Well, I appreciate that.
Amen. Anthony Rapino says, strangest ingredient you've ever put into a brew and or most experimental brew. Tried to think of this earlier today. I'd say the strangest ingredient, I mean, maybe lavender. It's not all that strange, but I like to put just a little pinch of lavender into wits. They're really good. On the far extreme, it's not a beer, but I brew kombucha at home, which is essentially putting this disgusting looking bacteria yeast formation into essentially sweet tea and fermenting this kind of health tincture. That thing looks like
Health tincture.
a jellyfish on crack.
It's like Jane's Addiction said, nothing's shocking. Nothing's shocking. Anything that you have ever thought to put into beer, somebody has thought of it before. Nothing's shocking. You can actually see one of the weirdest beers I did in recent memory. It was the
Tomac Zaymont.
Tomax and Zaymont
Oh, yeah.
from Brewing TV year 1.
Lemony butt.
Lemony butt, Szechuan peppercorn, lemon peel, English ale yeast, Belgian yeast. You never know till you try.
I'm a slow learner. I'll admit, I am a slow learner, and I like to take my time learning at a slow pace. And so I'm always hesitant to put anything into the beer that's not called for. And I'll stick to beers that I know or beers that are well recommended. So I'm not much of an experimenter when it comes to brewing.
Well, but that's how you learn.
Yeah, that's how I learn, and I think I try to keep it within parameters. Like hops are probably the one thing that I experiment with, or I might try, a different type of yeast than what is recommended.
What? As Michael Dawson's getting his 4 ounces of German Spalt to drop on this Altbier, I'm going to answer the next question. Someone asked us, what hobbies do the Brewing TV 3 have aside from Brewing TV? I personally like to play and record music, as you've all heard. I've been the featured artist on many a background of Northern Brewer TV and Brewing TV episodes.
You're like the T-Bone Burnett of Northern Brewer video.
I also like to hunt good beer and barbecue. I like to cook. I like to hang out with my wonderful wife and our crazy dog, Charlie P. And I like freelancing for magazines. I've had articles in Zymergy and a couple of local publications in Austin, Texas. I had a beer column. So I just like telling stories. I hope that's obvious by what we do here, period. But whether it's print, video, telepathy, I will tell you a mean story about some beer.
In your dreams.
What do you like to do, Jake Keeler?
I have 3 major hobbies besides home brewing, and that's soccer. I played soccer my entire life. I still play soccer for Stegman's Old Boys Football Club, amateur men's team. Our sponsors are Surly Brewing Company and Northern Brewer. Thank you to my team sponsors. So I love playing soccer, hanging out with my guys. Fly fishing is probably my biggest pursuit. It's a hobby that Mike and I share together. I've always been an avid fisherman and a hunter, but fly fishing really in the last 6-7 years is really just, I've been obsessed with it. So whenever I can go fishing, I would like to go fishing. And then art, that's what I went to school for. It's what I've done my entire life. So mostly just drawing, but those 3 things. And the one thing that they all have in common is that beer is a part of all of them. It's a part of the soccer. It's a part of that camaraderie, coming together. That's part of the game. It's definitely part of the art. It's part of the fly fishing experience. Beer is always there. So beer is one of those things that's just, it's so universal.
I like fly fishing as well. We should hang out sometime. We're still looking for somebody to float us down the Chippewa flowage.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
You could be on Brewing TV. Is this boiling?
Oh.
It sure is. Good catch, Mr. Reverse Burster.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I'm also
starting to smell strong.
starting to smell spalty up here. I'm also a big fan of other edible crafts. I like gardening. I like cooking a lot. I like coffee and tea, but like Jake was saying, beer informs and is a part of all of those things.
As we get this boil under control, we want to talk about some of our favorite moments from the year too. What are some of your favorite people, places, things for the last year's worth of episodes, which started with pretty much episode 36, Gone Firkin, up to episode 60, Ice is Nice. My favorite moment of the last year is honestly shooting that Oyster Stout episode at Liftbridge Brewery. It's close to home. They're people we know. Personally and professionally, and it was just absolutely bonkers as the dude that loves to throw random stuff in beer to watch whole and shucked oysters and all the crazy, lovely, oozy juices that flow from both going into a beer. That was just, and to see their families there. It wasn't just a day where the 5 dudes were working the packaging and the brewing. Their whole families there, their kids there. It was cool. It was kind of the point of beer to me. It was almost like a homebrew day. Everybody gathered. Everybody got involved, but at the end of the day, there was a whole lot more beer than's coming out of this thing when it's done. So that was probably my favorite place. Favorite person, I loved getting to interview Charlie P., the man, again at GABF. That's anytime I could talk to him, I really appreciate it. He's a living treasure.
And he's an absolutely generous, gracious, and giving person to not only to anybody that, you know, takes the time to take him seriously, but to the homebrewing and the beer community.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the real deal, you know, which is awesome. You know, 2 things come to mind. One is our experience with Damien McCann over at Summit. When we got to go over there and pound on some firkins and pins and help him with his cask program. It was just awesome to not only learn from him about their program, but also be put to work and doing something where it was like, wow, you know, I get to put the finishing touches on this beer before it goes off to the bar. That was particularly enjoyable. And then to come back to your basement and do the stout in the pin and kind of show how you can do it on a homebrew scale and to share that with a bunch of the guys from Northern Brewer.
Learned there.
Yeah,
Bring it back.
Super cool. It kind of brought the whole story full circle from the homebrew to the pro scale, but you're both using this vessel that's like small, contained, single batch, specialty, super cool. And then recently, out to Denver Beer Company. That snow day in Denver was just fun. I mean, it was a total homebrewed episode.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it embodied homebrewing to me because, you know, we had to come up with a plan on the fly. Chip calls up the guys at Denver Beer Company. They said, yeah, you know, they don't even know who we are. They say, yeah, come on down, we're brewing. They opened up the doors to us at like 8 in the morning. Yeah. And there we are, you know, and it was an awesome place. It was an amazing place. Super cool vibe. They've got that total homebrew spirit going on with the, you know, the different batches every single time. It just reminded me why beer is such a great thing in society, in the world. Yep. I mean, it's this binder that brings people together, and it's just an amazing thing. And whether it's homebrew or it's craft beer or even macro, I said it, even macro, if it is the thing that brings people together, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a positive thing. That's a thing to celebrate. And that's, I try to remind myself every time we do that, that's what it's about.
Truth. This is going to sound cheesy. This might even sound a little solipsistic, but one of my favorites was the sour episode because we got a survey course of some of the major sour beers of the world with a certified Cicerone, and then we got to go hang out with, it was like a homebrew club, but in actuality it was just people that we work with, but it was like a homebrew club.
We are a homebrew club.
It illustrated the benefits of a homebrew club because it's about the community. Like, all these people are out there doing these weird things with their sour bugs, and you bring them back together, and you get to try many, many, many different iterations of these beers, and that's the education you get to your palate, or the benefit you bring to your palate, the education you get from participating in a community like that. My favorite people are a tie. We had some really, really awesome co-hosts that, when we were really busy at work, helped keep Brewing TV alive, and I'd like to thank Ted and Paul.
Brian Adams. And Jeremy King. Dan Booty, Chris England, the Cobra, Baltic Python, some beer
Those
nerd.
guys.
Don O. Oh, Don O. Everybody knows who Don O is.
All of our co-hosts, all of our surrogate Keelers, surrogate Dawsons were fantastic. I also really enjoyed going to Dry Dock.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed
that was
Kevin DeLang and the brewing staff there. After corresponding with them so much, developing the recipes for the Pro Series kits, and then being able to go taste with them their beers side by side with our beers.
Yeah,
Super cool.
absolutely.
Beer run.
All right, well, Dawson's off getting beers. Of the three of us, who's got the worst gas?
Man, that's a three-way tie.
Okay, Die Hard or Lethal Weapon?
Die Hard, no question.
Is the Cobra really dead?
I feel an evil growing in the Pacific Northwest. It's hard to say.
You better bring your snake bite kits to Seattle kids. Hey, Dawson. Oh!
Bam.
Just real quick, also thanks to
Cobra.
Ted and Paul. They got us these mugs.
I don't know if you can see this, citizens, but this says Jake the Cobra Keeler.
Mine says Chip Blam Walton.
What does yours say, Dawson?
Mine says Michael Bunghole Dawson.
It's like the Rodney Dangerfield of Brewing TV. Michael Bunghole Dawson.
What? Okay.
Because you
But it's
work
in a
as-
Star
'cause you-
Wars. It's in a Star Wars font.
Okay.
It is in a Star Wars font.
So
they do.
shut up.
Now, we've got some viewer questions and some good questions. You guys have always had questions for us, and you can always keep asking us those questions, whether it's on our Facebook page, comments underneath the episode, or email us at brewingtv@northernbrewer.com. Please talk to us. We love to respond to your questions and inquiries. Now, there have been some comments over the last couple of years that we have found particularly funny. One that I found particularly funny was somebody giving Dawson a hard time for wearing socks with his Birkenstocks.
They were Tevas, and they were not Birkenstocks, and it's very, very comfortable. Because sometimes it's too warm for shoes, but not hot enough to wear sandals without socks. So, haters gonna hate. That's all. That's what I'm gonna say. Don't do that while you're brewing, because open-toed shoes, that's a recipe for disaster.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
wear closed-toed shoes
Closed-toed.
when you're brewing.
The second thing I want to say is you guys have been really observant.
We can count on you.
There are times when we're editing and we see something and we're like, oh, you think somebody's going to comment on that? You think they're going to notice it? And like, no, they won't notice that. And sure enough, second comment, bam.
There's one outro, I think, I don't know if it's Brew Your Own Bender or what, but we're doing an outro and someone, all they wanted to say about the episode was like, glad you put the hand lotion next to the hot sauce, like in the background on a bookshelf. It's just absolutely crazy. Someone noticed Dawson's dog rooting around in one episode and was like, what the hell is that? Some kind of Yeti in the woods? But there's also one clip that most people haven't noticed. There's one clip in a brewery tour episode where I had to reverse a shot in order for it to make sense in the story we're telling, and you can see someone walking backwards. And no one's ever noticed it, and I've been shocked, so you've let me down.
The first person to email us what episode that is
There you go,
and
boy.
at what timestamp that is,
Yep.
you're going to get a $50 gift card from Brewing TV. Here's where you email us. brewingtv@northernbrewer.com. The first email I see that's got the correct episode and the correct timestamp for where this shot takes place, $50 gift card from Northern Brewer. All of what we've been talking about, reminiscing, blah, 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 blah.
Dogs.
Getting yourself a $50 gift card for finding the reverse engineered video footage. That's not the big surprise. That's not the big
not?
surprise. No.
Whoa.
So what we wanted to do is, we're 2 years old. We wanted to give you guys a special thank you. We've put a select grouping of merchandise on sale, 15% off at Northern Brewer if you use coupon code BTV2year. So go to the URL below. Bonk, 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 bonk. Go there. You'll find all the awesome merchandise. It's on sale from May 4th to May 11th. Use that coupon code. Get yourself some good stuff. We got some awesome beer kits like my reverse burster, Blam,
Black IPA.
Black IPA.
Seen in a Brewing TV episode.
Yep.
Got a couple Dawson's kits. All the stuff is some of our favorite stuff.
Just to make sure everybody's got the information right. Chip Walton, put up that full screen. Promo code BTV, the number 2, the word year. Check out the goods that are on sale at northernbrewer.com/Bruin-TV-sale. May 4th through 11, 2012.
So it's a small token of our gratitude to you guys for supporting us for the last 2 years, and we want to be here for another 2 years, and then 2 years after that, and then 18 years after that. Thanks to all our friends with benefits, Brew Your Own Magazine, Brewing Network, iBrewmaster, MN Beer,
Y Yeast.
American Homebrewers Association, Y Yeast.
Boom.
They've always been there supporting us along the way.
So please support them
so please
too.
support them as well. And of course, Northern Brewer. We cannot say this enough, people. If you want to see more Brewing TV, support Northern Brewer. Every time that you shop with Northern Brewer, you're literally funding Brewing TV. And put it in your comments when you're ordering. Say, hey,
Yes.
I love Brewing TV. Keep it going. We want more of it. That's the thing that kind of keeps us gassed. That's the thing that's going to get you more Brewing TV, maybe even weekly episodes. All right, well, that about wraps it up. Thanks, folks, for taking some time out of your day to rap with us and reminisce about the last 2 years, particularly the last year. The sun has gone down, as you can see from our lighting kit called The Sun.
It's an honor and a privilege. We've enjoyed meeting all of you in cyberspace and in person over the last 2 years, and we hope to be able to continue to do that in years to come. All for Brew.
Brew for all.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Nah. Where's my present? Well, let's say 3. Let's just do happy birthday to you. And then you do.
I'm Michael Dawson.
I'm Chip Walton.
And I'm Jay Keeler.
We're with Northern Brewer, and this is Stepping on My Lines.
So what are we brewing for this minute? I'm playing guitar.
Zigga-zagga-leaga-dagga-dooga.
There's a question we're often asked, and that is, what exactly is motorcycles? What is motorcycles? Motorcycles is going by on my street.
Sometimes, you just don't have the scratch to make the batch. Oh, write that down.
All right.
Glad you put the hand lotion next to the hot sauce.
$50 gift card for finding the dude walking backwards in the brewery. It's not the surprise. The 15% off sale. It's not the treat.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
This is the treat.
BTV viewers, you get a sneak peek into the next Pro Series kits coming very, very soon.
How do you guys like this stuff? You guys
Pretty
like
good.
this stuff?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
How's it taste?
Oh, it tastes like an Imperial ESB or something like that.
Yeah, does it?
It's like an
it?
area.
In a desert?
Yeah, an area
you
in a
find
desert where you find water
great
and
relief.
you find palm trees and you find great relief, and that's the
Some-
place you want to hang out.
Lots of hops?
Lots of hops.
Yeah.
These guys know a lot about sweaty buffaloes.
Tallgrass. Good evening.
Do we need to reshoot any of that now that that light came on?